I said I was going to calm down? Why am I getting more hype the longer this goes on? I need to chill out. Am I like having a manic episode right now? Like the girl said, oh, I'm craving an apple. Bruh, I was craving like 17 and a half cupcakes in a human-sized bowl of Alfredo pasta. Like, I wanted about 100 Olive Garden breadsticks. Don't come at me with I'm craving an apple. All right, welcome back to another Cozy Keto Podcast. I don't know why I'm so giddy. It's because I have this microphone and it makes me feel so fancy. I'm like a real YouTuber now. I'm just such a nerd. Okay, what we're gonna do, first things first, we're gonna ignore this. I know. Elephant in the room. But, okay, so it's January, and I posted my story, my first 5 months on keto, and I was actually surprised by the number of people that watched it. I didn't expect it to get very many views, but it got pretty typical views for my videos, so I figure I'll push my luck and continue because I really enjoyed making it. I loved hearing all of you guys' stories, coming off of medications, losing tons of weight, feeling better, just wow, it was just incredible, and I really appreciate everyone who shared in the comments. I really enjoyed reading all of them and all of your sweet encouragement. You guys are the best. But today, what we're going to be doing on this Random Keto Podcast is we are going to be doing tips for the first week on keto. So I'm assuming you may not be on keto already if you're watching this video, or maybe you have a friend who's interested in starting keto and you can direct them to this video. So I saw recently that Serious Keto already did one of these, and I made this script / sheet bullet point thing before he posted that, I promise. So I haven't stolen any of his ideas. I watched a little bit of it, but not the whole thing. It's all good stuff, and it seems like he's doing a beginner keto series, and it seems like everyone is, and I don't mean to jump on the bandwagon, but it is January. And for me particularly, the reason that I wanted to do this is that I have had 2 people start keto. A friend of mine approached me, said she'd been thinking about it for a couple of months, and she texted me and said, do you have any advice? And that is when I just word vomited. Like, do not ask someone on keto that. That's going to be their favorite thing ever. And wow, they're just, you're going to make their day, but also they may never stop sending you emails. I think I sent her like 8 in a row, and I was just like, I'm sorry. But as far as I can tell, I've been checking in with her. She's been doing amazing, cooking food that's like way more fancy and delicious than what I cook. So you know who you are if you see this. Good for you. And secondly, I had my... He'll probably want to remain anonymous. I had a friend of mine also start keto, and I've been working extremely closely with him. And again, I would say utilize all of these tips, and then I sent these to my sister because she has people at her church who are interested in starting. And so I forward her all those emails, and I just realized, like, hey, this is good stuff, whether it's for your friends, whether it's stuff that maybe would have made your first week on keto easier. Some of these things I learned the hard way. And yeah, so we're on our comfy couch. We have our comfy blanket. We have our comfy snowman and our comfy sweater and our messy hair. So I'm sorry, I'll just get started. I got excited. Okay, wow, I need to calm down. I'm like, okay, I'm bringing it down. Okay. All right. Tips for the first week on keto. My first tip is to, and everyone can say it with me, take before pictures and measurements. And I know what you're thinking. If you're like me, you were so embarrassed you didn't want evidence of it out there. Like I took before pictures when I had already lost like 10 pounds. Because that was the earliest that I could stand it. And I regret that. Because okay, so I was looking for before pictures for my video or to share on Facebook. And I don't have any official ones. I had to go and crop myself out of group photos. Have that so you can show people. And look back on when you feel discouraged, like maybe the scale's not going down. And that's where having measurements will really come in handy. What the keto community online will call non-scale victories. Those are important. So being able to look back at how far you've come, and even if it's a true plateau, let's say it's a true plateau and you're thinking, man, like I would just really like to quit. This is dumb. Look back at those old photos of yourself and say, no, you know what? Even though I'm not losing weight right now, it's worth it to even just maintain the weight that I've lost because look how far I've come. Look at the before, look at it now. And it's good to have. Okay, so before pictures, measurements. My second tip for your first week on keto is to make sure that you have electrolytes. Now, every YouTuber under the sun, keto YouTuber, is sponsored by Element. I am not sponsored by Element, and so I've never tried Element. So I'll put the brand that I used for a long time and still use occasionally somewhere up here, and there will be, a cute little affiliate link in the description below. So why do you need electrolytes? Well, from my loose understanding, when you're first going into ketosis, your body is burning through your glycogen stores. And when you go through your glycogen stores, there's like water in those cells. So it's flushing out that water. And that's why you lose so much water weight in the first week. Yeah, basically the keto flu is where you feel like really tired and achy and grumpy and cravings. And you're already dealing with enough and you do not need that. So if you can replace your electrolytes kind of before you get there, you can avoid that. So highly recommend. My third tip is realistic expectations. Okay, so this is kind of twofold. The first expectation that you should have is to be a little bit grumpy. Your body is very used to one source of energy. It's easy, it's quick, it doesn't have to work very hard. And also combine that with a sugar dopamine addiction that your brain is used to getting those hits when you eat. It is a minor withdrawal. Even if you wouldn't consider yourself like addicted, your body is maybe reliant on it. And so switching from it can definitely be uncomfortable. So if you get a little hangry, have some patience with yourself. And the second part of that is to be realistic as far as the weight loss. I know that most people will lose tons of weight the first time they go on keto in the first week. The first time I went on keto, full stop, I lost 9 pounds in a week. And the second time I went on keto, sort of semi-eased into it, I lost 4 pounds in a week. Both of those are great, but if you don't lose that weight, don't give up. First of all, I would make sure that you're actually in ketosis. Look for hidden carbs. They're in everything. Okay, funny story. I got a roll of ground beef, a 3-pound roll of ground beef from Aldi because it's cheapest there locally right now. And it's like the 73% lean or whatever, the least lean you can get, because I'm like, I want the fat. Where is the 0% lean? Just like, it's just a glob of fat. It's like, okay. So I looked on the back and I was doing some macro calculations for my friend that I'm working with and making sure that his macros were good. And I was looking at it and it said that it had 1 gram of carbs per serving. Ground beef, plain ground beef. And I was like, whoa. So I looked it up, and of course the internet's like, yeah, ground beef doesn't have carbs in it. Duh, 0, none. The ingredients said ground beef. So finally I'm talking to my sister on the phone, and I'm like, how can this be? That would mean in this, because it's like per serving, and there's 12 servings per container. That would mean that this has 12 grams of carbs in just ground beef? I'm making a soup with this. Do you know how much that will change the carbs per serving size? So then she had a great idea. She was like, well, maybe it's a typo. Just look and see what the percentage is of your daily values. And if it's 0%, then it's probably a typo. So I went and looked, and sure enough, it's 0%. So whew, big sigh of relief there. I was about to have to warn y'all, watch out for that Aldi ground beef. I don't know what they're putting in there, but it has carbs. Okay, so back to expectations. Okay, don't be disappointed if you lose a ton of weight, but be excited if you do. And it's okay that you're going to be a little bit grumpy. That's all right. Number 4, I think. This is important. It's 2 words. Be prepared. Okay? Be prepared at all times. Okay? You need to have food that you can eat, readily eat at all times. If you're like me, if you're like, super disciplined and you have no problems with your food consumption, you can skip this tip. But if you're anything like me, and when those hangry cravings come and you need to eat something right then, or you're going to reach for what's easy, which happens to be like a box of cereal or goldfish that your toddler eats, then listen up. I want you to have snacks in your fridge at all times. I'm talking cheese sticks, those turkey snack sticks, boiled eggs, devil's eggs, different shapes of cheese, different kinds of cheese. So I keep the rectangular cheese that's like the little thick slices, and I keep a stick of cheese. Both of them are Colby Jack because that's basically the only cheese I like to eat. But something about the different shape does make a difference. I don't know why, but they hit different, okay? And I keep boiled eggs in my fridge at all times. I also want you to keep a meal that is microwave ready at all times, whether that's keeping an emergency like the brand Real Good TV dinner if you don't like to meal prep. I personally love to meal prep. It has changed the keto game for me. Sometime soon, I'm going to do like a what I eat in a day video for you guys so you can kind of see a little bit of my routine. But basically, to do kind of a spoiler alert, I will make a big batch of whatever kind of meat that I want and then just keep it in the fridge for the majority of the week. I mean, like 3 or 4 days or whatever, but half the week or so. And then I have boiled eggs and cheese, and that's kind of what I eat on the side at all times. And then if I want something special, I'll make that. So for example, today I meal prepped a like shake and bake keto chicken. So I had bought chicken breasts. Silly me, I prefer chicken thighs. They're cheaper and they have more fat. You guys know how I feel about fat. I like the skin and the fat. This is so whack. Like sometimes I can't believe I'm this person, but this is real. This is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now. Gonna eat my fat. So much fat. Remember when I said I was gonna calm down? Why am I getting more hype the longer this goes on? I need to chill out. Am I like having a manic episode right now? What is a manic episode? I don't know what I'm talking about. So, getting back to what I was saying. I want you to have like an entree, like a meat that is microwave ready. Steaks, burgers, baked chicken, pork chops, chicken wings, other whatever meats are out there, okay? Just have them ready. I keep like a giant Tupperware. Oh yeah, so I was saying about the baked chicken. So today I made like 18 chicken tenders, like baked, using like an egg wash and then pork rinds, Parmesan cheese, and seasonings. And they're better fried, but as far as meal prep, it's easier to bake them. So I baked a bunch of them. We had them for dinner tonight, and now I will have them for lunch for the rest of the week. I can have them sliced into a salad. I won't, because I don't ever eat salads other than at Chick-fil-A, and I eat their Cobb salad with no corn and extra egg and the grilled nuggets and the creamy salsa ranch. It's good, y'all. I will eat that baked chicken. I will slice it up and put it into my like fettuccine alfredo. Yes, I have fettuccine alfredo. If you want to know more about this, I tested a pasta recipe that I've been making every single week with extreme consistency. I'll link it somewhere. And so yes. And then of course I'll just use it like I'll use a keto bun and make chicken sandwich. Make chicken sandwich. Like what? English is a second language or something. Make a chicken sandwich or just eat it by itself. Dip it in no sugar added ketchup. And that's what we did tonight. And I made green beans on the side, and it was delicious. Why am I still talking about this shake and bake chicken? Because I'm trying to illustrate a point. You can make one meat and use it for so many different things. And so I want you to have that in your fridge. I want you to have snacks, boiled eggs, cheese, and then I want you to have some in your pantry too, when the munchies. Now, after a while, when you have enough ketones, the munchies may or may not disappear. For me, they disappeared. I don't snack ever anymore. Ever, unless other people are snacking and like socially I feel like left out or whatever. So very rarely, like once a month or something, I'll be like, sure, I'll randomly eat something even though I'm not actually that hungry because everyone else is eating, and so I feel like I should, and it's like this whole thing. But I want you to have like nuts or like Quest chips or, it also depends on your level of like clean versus dirty. But the point is, have pre-prepared things. The other thing that I keep in the house at all times is a keto dessert. Why, you ask? First of all, why do you have to ask why? You should always have a dessert. But I don't always eat a dessert with my meals. However, when the craving for a dessert strikes, you gotta have it. So again, meal prepping. At the beginning of the week, I'll make a batch of brownies. I'll get some of those like protein bars that are like randomly just desserts. Come on, y'all. They're chocolate chip cookie dough flavored. But either way, I make sure that I have something chocolatey and sweet that I can eat in the house. I used to not do this, and I would have to make like a chocolate chip cookie mug cake in the microwave. And that was like okay, but I don't know. It's going to be easier if you just have it ready. The other part of being prepared is not only what you have in your home, but it's what you take with you or what you do before you go somewhere, especially where food is being served. So every time I go somewhere where food is being served, I assume that there's probably a meat being served that I can eat. Sometimes that's not a good assumption, but most of the time, people will have at least some form of meat that you can, eat. But I bring my own sides and I bring my own dessert because, again, when everyone's passing around the cake, you want something sweet. I don't know. Food is a very social thing, and I feel like that's kind of one of the hardest parts about keto is how much it sets you apart from even your own tribe, your own clan, your own, family. It makes you different, and I think that's why people can be so weird about it too, because they're like, oh, you think you're better than us? You bring your own food everywhere. You're such a weirdo. Keto twins talk about this as well. Eating before you go, highly recommend. If you're going somewhere where you don't think there's going to be very much for you, eat before you go. That way, if you can't eat anything, it's sort of a fun, pleasant surprise. Ooh, I can eat a little something here and there. But if you can't eat something, then you'll be hungry and you'll be more likely to cave. Never be hungry, okay? That is my biggest advice, and it's not like on here specifically listed, but never be hungry because hunger will make your willpower just go gone. So be prepared. Have something. Have stuff for sandwiches, a keto bread and some, nice deli meat and cheese, and slather that puppy in mayo. I lived off of these little like wraps that I used to make from keto tortillas. Again, this is when in the beginning, I ate one or two like every day for like a month straight, and it was so good. Like, it did not get boring to me, okay? So you do like a keto tortilla. You do, for me, ham. You do your ham, a ton of Colby Jack cheese, and then a ton of mayo. And then you heat that puppy up for a little bit in the microwave till the cheese is like just melted. And then you have a boiled egg on the side. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. Okay. Tip number 5. This is going to be silly to say out loud. I'm going to say this and you're going to be like, oh, shut it. You're so silly. I know, okay? But it must be said. Don't cheat. This should be obvious, but especially in your first week, do not cheat, okay? Here's why. Ketosis is a little bit like being pregnant. You either are pregnant or you aren't pregnant. There's no such thing as like sort of pregnant or halfway pregnant. There even is might be pregnant, but that's not the same, okay? And ketosis is something you are in or you're not. So if you cheat even just one cute little time and it pushes you out of ketosis or prevents you from going into ketosis, it's like you gotta start all over. Not all over. You're not a failure. Don't worry. Don't be extreme. We're gonna get to that in the next tip, but don't cheat. Give it its best shot for you to be in ketosis and be burning all that, wonderful body fat and just like gone. Now, that being said, tip number 6, if you do cheat, okay, don't cheat, but plan a day. I'm going to take a day off of keto. I'm going to take a meal off of keto. I know that I'm going to my sister-in-law's cousin's friend's bar mitzvah, and they're going to be serving my favorite Slovakian folded forest powder wraps, and those are the most delicious pastries ever. They're handmade by French baguettes in, Christmas stockings, and oh my goodness, they're just a once-in-a-lifetime treat. I've got to eat it. Okay. Plan it, take the day off, and more importantly, have an exit plan, or rather have exit plan's not the right word. Have a plan for going back on keto. Let's say you take the week off, you're on vacay, I don't go on vacay, so I don't know where you would go for vacay, but you're on vacay, you want to take the week off. What is your plan for when you get home to get right back on keto? Because you can take a day or a week off and maybe get away with it as long as you get back on. If you cheat, even in the moment, let's say you don't plan it and you reach for that donut and you eat it. You have that bowl of cereal and you eat it. Don't be extreme about keto. Okay, the key to keto is that it is a lifestyle and not a diet. So you haven't ruined everything if you've gone off of it, even if you've gained a couple of pounds back, even if you've gained all of the weight back. Just go back to keto. The next meal, don't decide on an arbitrary number of like, oh, I'm going to start on Monday because it's the beginning of the week, or oh, I'm going to start on the 1st of January because it's the new year. Don't. The moment you have enough motivation and strength to get back on keto, do it that very meal. Okay. Or maybe reduce slowly. The point is, if you're extreme about it, then it's going to be just like every other yo-yo diet out there. It is not, I don't know. And it seems like those things are counterintuitive to say, like, don't cheat. You're either in ketosis or you're not. But also, don't be extreme. Keto is flexible. But it really is. And once you've been on keto for a while, you'll begin kind of learning your limits, your triggers, your cravings, all of that. So just be willing to roll with the journey. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to learn new things. Studies will come out. Dr. Berg will post something new. And come to find out, you've been eating maltodextrin, and you have to go throw away so much food. That definitely didn't happen to me. The point is that be flexible about keto, okay? It's a lifestyle, and you need to make it work for you as far as long-term sustainability. And I know that doesn't have much to do with the first week, but it's just a bonus. So my next tip is to have a buddy. Now, obviously, this isn't always possible. My husband is not on keto, and my kids are not on keto. I'm the only one in my house on keto. My sister used to be on keto with me, but then she moved out of state. So now she's gone. So I'm all alone. So, touching on what I said earlier about keto being somewhat isolating, feeling like you're the only one who's sort of suffering or being left out, again, that is what can really, really hurt, and it can make it hard. So if you can't have someone in your household who can do it with you, I highly recommend finding at least an online community or, a pen pal, somebody who can, encourage you, and someone who is going through the same things. So, just the kinds of things like, okay, your tastes are going to change. Me liking fat. Oh my goodness. Do you know, like on steaks, I used to be horrified by like the fat like in the steak, and I would cut it out, the texture and everything. I remember, like, the thing is, in my memory, I could literally gag thinking about it, even though currently I'm like, yes, give me all of the fat. So if that does not show you how much your taste can change, I don't know what will. So for me, in the beginning, since I didn't have anyone else, I joined the Keto Twins Facebook group, Keto with the Keto Twins, and it has like 10,000 members now, but it's so incredible. Most people are very supporting, and all the various posts. Someone just recently posted about Aldi having keto dinner rolls, like the pull-apart ones. I'll put a picture here. But I looked and saw, and my Aldi didn't have them, so I was bummed, and I went to the store, and I was getting my regular list, and guess what I saw? They're seasonal, y'all, so run and get them. They had the dinner rolls, and I am not ashamed to say that I bought every single one that they had. I bought 10 of them, and I'm going to freeze them and have them all throughout the year. Why are they seasonal? Aldi, you could make a killing. $4 for 12 dinner rolls, and they're so good. Matt ate them, and he was like, this isn't possible. They're squishy, they're yeasty, they've got they're so good. And no, they're considered probably dirty to some people, but for me, I eat them. They're 1 gram of carbs a piece. I'm not worried. I'm sorry, Dr. Berg. So the point is that you can learn about stuff like that, and you can learn about yummy recipes. You can get encouragement. There's people who share their weight loss, journey. I just recently did. The point is that join a community, even if it's not that one. That's where, YouTube channels, finding YouTube channels, that you like and enjoy watching can make you feel communal, not only to the person running the channel, but everybody in the comments. And you can see like, oh, we're experiencing the same things. Yada, yada. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but to the best of your abilities, have a buddy, find a community, not only for accountability, but for friendship and fellowship. Tip number, I think 8, avoid feeling deprived. Again, this ties into the last one. If everyone else is having brownies, you need to have a keto brownie because you don't want to be the only one left out. If everyone else is having pizza, make sure that you have your version of a keto pizza, whatever that looks like. Okay, succinct, done, period. Get familiar with food labels. Again, so first week on keto, you're going to need to, know how to calculate net carbs if you're going by net carbs, and certainly fat content, protein content, all of the ingredients. You want to avoid maltodextrin, you want to avoid hydrogenated oils. It's the best of your ability. Some people want to avoid wheat and gluten, and there's all different kinds of names. So just start learning those names for ingredient labels so you can avoid that stuff, because even in sugar-free items, there is bad juju in there. Avoid anything labeled low fat. A lot of diet food will be labeled low fat because it's supposed to be so healthy. But around the keto world, we love fat. So we don't do low fat because low fat means it's going to be, replaced with hydrogenated oils, which if you didn't know are so bad for you. They're like inflammatory and cancerous. And everyone knows this and no one cares. And they're in everything. So to the best of your abilities, certainly I do not let canola oil or vegetable oil cross the threshold into my home, okay? Just like the demons, they gotta stay out. So you're gonna wanna skip this step, but just think about it. Watch this documentary, Fat Fiction. I recommended it in my last podcast because it's good. It's good, okay? It's going to teach you a lot about keto, more than even this, podcast will tell you. And it's super interesting. If you like documentaries, you'll like this documentary. My final tip is to just do it. Like I said earlier, don't pick an arbitrary day. Just do it, okay? And you'll make some mistakes. You may not do it perfect. Don't wait till you have all your research. Don't wait till you have all the perfect products. Just start today. Start right now. And be committed. Here's an advanced tip. And I know that we're talking first week on keto, so no pressure. But if you want to utilize intermittent fasting, that can really jumpstart your results. It can increase your results. I didn't start doing intermittent fasting until on accident. That's a story time for another time. With those ketones in your body, you probably won't be as hungry. And so the point is that if you can get a 12 to 16 or 18 hour gap in between eating, that will increase your fat burning, ketones, etc. Dr. Berg has a lot of good videos about that. Obviously, there are many other good doctors on YouTube. He's just the main one I watch. There's something so calming about his voice. And I like his whiteboard setup. I don't know. I'm just a loyalist to him, okay? I think that that's it for my tips. Okay, so if you have gotten this far, wow, thank you so much. And if you have been on keto for a while and you just happen to be watching this, maybe you're gonna send it to a friend, leave your number one tip for the first week on keto in the comments below. Or if this is your first week on keto, tell me which tip spoke to you most or, was most impactful for you. Or just tell me how your first week is going. Have you lost any weight? How are you feeling? I want to know. You just tell me if you want. And I know that this is a different style than what I was doing as far as testing recipes and stuff, which I will be getting back to, rest assured. But I think I will be posting once a week from now on so that I can put out higher quality videos for you guys and, really focus on also balancing my home life and family life because, that's what's most important to me. As much as I love you guys and YouTube, my family and making sure that we have food to eat is very important. I really appreciate you guys so much. This is Charlotte signing out of the Random Keto Podcast. Okay, I hope you guys have a good one. Bye, y'all. I just don't want to put the mic down. It makes me feel so fancy and official. Help, send help. Okay, bye.